calling this regular meeting of the board at 5 p.m. to order. Can we have roll call, please?
Trustee Chin-Lao?
Here.
Trustee Aragon?
Present.
Trustee Gibson?
Here.
Trustee Silver?
Here.
Trustee Kwong?
Here.
Trustee Liu?
Here.
Trustee Wong?
Here.
Student Trustee Wong?
Thank you very much. Do we have any public comment on closed session agenda items?
There are none.
Thank you. We're now going to recess to closed session, C1 Government Code 54957, C2 Government Code 54956.9D2 and E3, C3 Government Code 54957.6, C4 Government Code 54957. I'm going to call this meeting of the board, reconvene this meeting of the board at 6:09 p.m. Our first item, D1, report of action in closed session. I believe we have a public comment on this item.
Yes, we do. We have one public comment from Chief Manuelito.
You may begin whenever you'd like.
Mr. Chair, I got the floor. I can handle it. Once again, we don't know the full action of the report. I think members of the public should know and should have at least a synopsis or some type of bullets, points about the decision making on these actions of closed session. Because let me give you an example. A former councilman by the name of Jose Luis Huizar from Los Angeles sits in a prison in Lone Park for the same closed session actions he took against the people. We, the people of California, who were subjected to discrimination, racial profiling, and gentrified out of our own fucking community.
Excuse me.
Out of our own fucking community. And I stand here as a witness before God, as the chief of this board tonight, to remind you, God hates you. God hates liars. And I hate liars. The future of our generation sits behind me or besides me. And they should hear clearly what the First Amendment sounds like. It's bold. It's abusive. It's vulgar. And I take no shit from no one when it comes to the First Amendment, as I trump on you. So pay attention to the fact that tonight's going to be an interesting meeting if you wish to stay. And understand that Brandenburg versus Ohio, 395 U.S. 444 1969, is a reality of my belief. Now, whether the Supreme Court rules it an action unfair, well, let's go behind closed session and find out whether or not the Supreme Court's ruling was fair. For one man's saying is another man's harmony. One man's vulgar is his First Amendment to free speech. Otherwise, what great music will we get out of Compton? Out of the NWA? What good music will we get out of life if we can't comprehend the language I am about to speak tonight or say, because those are my fucking beliefs?
That concludes public comment on this agenda item.
There is no report of action in closed session. D2, roll call, please.
Trustee Chinlao.
Here.
Trustee Aragon.
Present.
Trustee Gibson.
Here.
Trustee Silver.
Here.
Trustee Kwong.
Here.
Trustee Liu.
Here.
Trustee Wong.
Here.
Student Trustee Wong.
Here.
Thank you very much.
Right there.
Next, we're going to do the land acknowledgement. I will read our land acknowledgement this evening. Thank you very much. Pasadena City College is a learning community within the indigenous homelands of the people who have been known as the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians of the Shishiquanga Village and Quiche Nation. Tonight, we acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this land on which we gather. We also honor the legacy of the African diaspora and recognize that the United States as we know it was built at the often fatal expense of forcefully enslaved Black people. We are indebted to their labor and the labor of many Black and brown bodies that continue to work in the shadows for our collective benefit. PCC and its faculty, staff, and students recognize that we are all simultaneously teachers, learners, and guests on these lands. This acknowledgement is a small part of an ongoing process of working to raise awareness about histories that are too often erased or forgotten, to recognize our place in this history, and to affirm our commitment to social justice, systemic change, and anti-racism. Thank you. Next is our Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Silver, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I get a motion now to approve our agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Liu. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson. Any discussion? Great. We'll move to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you. Next, something very exciting. We have item D6, introductions and recognitions. Dr. Gomez, I understand we have some special guests here with us this evening.
Yes, Trustee Wong, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to give some special shout-outs tonight. We are joined this evening by student athletes, coaches, and leadership from PCC Lancer Athletics, which has had a fall semester that is nothing short of remarkable. This may have been one of the most historic and winning seasons Pasadena City College has seen in decades. Across the broad range of sports, our Lancer teams achieved incredible results as teams and as individuals, and they earned some special distinctions along the way. We have provided a handout to the board that details some of the highlights, and it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Timmy Brown to the podium to share more. Dr. Brown.
Good evening, Board President Wong, members of the Governing Board, President Gomez, and the Executive Leadership Team. My name is Timmy Brown, and I am the Dean of Kinesiology, Health, and Athletics. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. And on behalf of our division, I would like to express our gratitude for your unwavering support, as well as providing us with the facilities and resources to be successful. Thanks to the dedication of our coaches, support staff, and student athletes, we have reached new heights across a variety of fall sports. Highlights of the year include the best season in school history for our women's soccer team, finishing with a 19-2-2 overall record, a South Coast Conference Tournament championship, a new mark for most wins in a season, culminating in a regional finals berth. Our team was led... Our team was led by head coach Terrence Solberg, who received the highest honor of state coaches as the SoCal Region Coach of the Year. Sophomore midfielder Charlie Gallardo was named Conference Offensive Player of the Year, and defender Itzel Nunez, goalie Francesca Agliolo, along with Gallardo, were selected for all region and all state. 18 players on the current roster are seeking transfer opportunities. Would you guys like to stand up? Women's soccer, you guys stand up?
Yeah. Woo! All right.
The Lancer football team went undefeated, going 11-0 and becoming just the 5th team in school history to have a perfect season. The season culminated with a win in the SCFA American Division Bowl Championship, defeating Chaffey College for the second time in front of 1,200 fans at Robinson Stadium. Director of Football Operations Robert Tucker was named Coach of the Year, and sophomore Micah Mendoza earned Offensive Player of the Year. Micah is one of 18 Lancers chosen as all SCFA players. Tarek Brumfield and Ethan Bowser won awards for Player of the Game and MVP at the Bowl Championship, and many of our current players are actively being recruited by four-year colleges. The Lancer men's soccer team hosted its first ever postseason home game, earned the most victories by a CCC men's soccer team in 16 years, and reached the regional finals only to be stopped by the eventual state champion in Cuyamaca College. Boo. Our team had a big upset win over number two seed Mount San Antonio in the second round of the playoffs, something that had not been accomplished in 20 years.
Yeah.
The Lancers are led by head coach Francisco Quintero, and in only his second season was named the South Coast Conference North Coach of the Year.
Yeah. Woo!
Sophomores Angel Ballesteros, Diego Lazo, and Jose Perez were named to the All-SEC First Team. And most importantly, the team currently has a 3.0 GPA, and 10 sophomores are on track to earn their degree in the spring.
Yeah.
Woo! Men's soccer, can you guys stand up? Our Lancer women's volleyball team also had an outstanding season, led by Biko Holly being named MVP of the South Coast Conference, Emily Lycon as Libero of the Year, and head coach Mike Terrell earning Coach of the Year honors.
Yeah. Woo!
This was the Lancers' 7th consecutive trip to the SoCal Regional Playoffs under Coach Terrell's leadership, and a record 9 players earned all-conference, led by first-teamers Kamea Vongfak, Chasey Hoon, Juju Lee, and Shaylee Ungos. Additionally, Shaylee Ungos has accepted a scholarship to play at Division II Menlo College. One of the team's biggest wins came against number 14 ranked Mount Sac to earn a share of the conference title. Volleyball team, you guys want to stand up?
Yeah.
We'd also like to acknowledge our All-SEC First Team women's water polo player, Luna Encinas, coached by Terry Stoddard. Along with state qualifier from cross country, Ashley Sosa, coached by Innocent Ugbunike. Sorry about that. We are incredibly proud of all that has been accomplished by our student athletes and coaches, but I also want to recognize the individuals who go above and beyond for our student athletes. These individuals truly are some of the best in the business, and their hard work, dedication, and commitment to our team's academic and athletic success cannot be overlooked. I would like to recognize Athletic Director Jackie Johnson, Athletic Eligibility Technician and Game Management Guru Sarah Medina, Sports Information Specialist Robert Lewis, Equipment Attendants Eric Valdez and Ryan Cardona, Athletic Trainers Patty Bilali and Praline Bonifacio. From the Athletic Zone, Matt Williams, Christopher Hollis, and Cassandra Lanier.
Yeah.
Our photographer, Richard Quinton. Admin assistants, Wendy Snyder and Mazona Smerdloff.
Yeah.
And our event ticket manager and general staff assistant, Nat Newton. I'd also like to thank Kyle and all his support throughout the year. Great job.
Yeah.
We are tremendously excited for the future of the KHA division and the culture of excellence we're building together. With your support, we know we can achieve even greater milestones and continue to make a positive impact on our students, our institution, and the broader community. Thank you once again for your leadership, commitment, and belief in the power of athletics. Thank you.
I'll do it right now. Thank you, Dr. Brown, and congratulations to all of our athletes. I think we're going to with Alex's help, figure out how we take a photo right now. So we'll come to you. Please stay, and then we'll listen to Alex's direction. Thank you. Thank you again to all of our athletes for being here. It is such an incredible. I know they've left now because they have evenings to get back to, but it's just incredible to hear their stories and all the successes and wins from this year. If any of our trustees would like to make any comments,
I would love to. I certainly being a sports mom, which I never thought I would be, I really would like to just recognize the coaches and your leadership. It really begins with leadership and your motivation and the type of mindset that you instill in these athletes. So I know that it's a lot of hard work from your end and your sacrifices, and I hope that you can see that the excellence that you have brought to PCC is worthwhile and that you are impacting the lives of our students. And this is a path to, it's a greater path, whether it's through sports or life skills. What you have taught them on the daily basis will carry with them throughout their lives. So I just want to take this opportunity to acknowledge you and your wonderful work. And as one of my favorite sports announcers, Vin Scully, likes to say from the Dodgers that good is not good when better is expected, and we expect better from the basketball team. So So congratulations to football, soccer, and water polo and cross country and all of that. And again, just my heartfelt thanks to each one of you for what you do to represent PCC. Thank you.
Trustee Gibson, and then we'll go to Trustee Aragon, and then Dr. Gomez would like to say something too.
Yeah, I'd like to give my kudos to all the student athletes and all the staff that led them, directed them, and supported them. It's a great effort. I really enjoyed the games that I attended, the football games and other games that I attended. It was great to see that. And I want to thank the band for their moral support at the teams. So good work, everybody.
Trustee Aragon.
Yeah, I want to echo that and just say that I've got the opportunity to attend a football game. It was my first time in all my years here at PCC, so thank you for that pass that I got to go to the tailgate. But I understand the rigors of being an athlete and a scholar. So what I wanted to say to the students, I should have said it earlier, but make sure you convey this, or if any of the students are still around, that, I think it's extremely important, that, and it's wonderful to see the students that are completing their degrees, that are transferring, because all my years as a counselor working with athletes, I always wanted to emphasize that they complete their degrees, that they go on as professionals. I know sometimes the allure of being a pro athlete can distract them from that, but please convey that to them. I congratulate for them, especially the men of color, because sometimes the numbers are speak against us as men of color, and it's important that our athletes complete their degrees and continue with their education. So congratulations.
Dr. Gomez.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that what is truly remarkable about our athletic program is that every one of those coaches and every one of those staff people, although winning is important, what I have been most impressed by in my conversations with all of you is how much you are there as educators. As Trustee Aragon said, making sure that your students complete their degrees and transfer. I was having a conversation with one of the coaches a couple of weeks back, and he told me that I said, hey, do you have any players that are transferring to big schools or, any superstars? And he said to me, every one of my players, I am happy that they transfer to a four-year university. Whether they're superstars or whether we win is secondary to making sure that these student athletes transfer. And every one of you I know is committed to that. Our athletic zone folks, everyone. And so this is just, icing on the cake for everything else that you do. So thank you so much. We're all very grateful for the work that you've done.
Thank you. Thank you all one more time. Okay. We are now going to move to public comment on non-agenda items. This is the time and place for members of the public to address the board on items that are not on the agenda, but within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Under state law, comments are to be directed to the full board, not to staff or other members of the public, and state law prohibits the board from discussing or acting on any issue not on the agenda. Under the board's bylaws, meetings of the board are to be held in a civil, orderly, and respectful manner, and disrupting, disturbing, or otherwise impeding the orderly conduct of the meeting and/or physical violence or threats of physical violence directed towards any person or property are expressly prohibited. The board deeply respects the First Amendment rights that apply during public comment. However, speakers are also cautioned that under California law, no person is immune from liability for making intentionally false or defamatory comments regarding another person simply because those comments are made at a public meeting. In addition, personnel matters are confidential, and persons who have complaints against employees of the district are encouraged to seek resolution of those complaints by utilizing established complaint procedures rather than orally addressing them at a meeting. The board assumes no responsibility for a speaker's liability for any intentionally false or defamatory comments the speaker may make regarding any person during the opportunity for public comment. Thank you for that, and we will now go to our important comments. Trustee Liu.
Thank you. First public comment from Eduardo Vidal.
Hello, Board of Trustees. My name is Eduardo Vidal. I'm a student here. The reason I'm here is because I would like to thank all the resources and reinforcements that help my community fight in our battle with bad air quality and pollution. So special thanks to the Dr. Gomez office, president, the Library Dream Center, Freeman Center, and PCC Athletics for inspiring me. So happy holidays and happy New Year. Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Next public comment from Chief Manuelito.
Yes. We know that the law, and within the grounds of the law, in the case of Watts versus the United States, 1969, 394 U.S. 705, 1969. Yes, a political arena in its abusive, inexact, and vituperative of political hyperbole should not be considered what some would say is a threat. And based on the government, in this case, was not a threat. Saying that if you make me carry a rifle, if I shoot LBJ, now that's not a threat. If. Key word. And there's one here in Pasadena, matter of fact. The idea of Bagdasarian versus Pasadena, the United States of America. 8 years of that dumb president. And he said, I'd shoot the blank. Once again, overruled by the courts. Was not a threat. So what I'm getting at is regarding expression, expressively a conditional nature of statements. It could be based on what people wear. It could be what you have on your clothing. Matter of fact, I walk into the city of Los Angeles because I think of Los Angeles as they are. They're nothing more but a big. This is Los Angeles for you. And why is Los Angeles a big like this one? It's because they've challenged my mental health. You don't f with a Native American like myself, because I will do the research. I will sit in the law library and come with the facts that America is doomed, you're all going to hell, and God hates you, simplify. So get that straight. Get that heard, that it's not a threat. It's simply an expression of one's belief. And my belief is America is doomed. Not because of Trump, but because our government is so f***ed up. It's not in reality. It's making hardships. And those hardships are here in the color of our skin. Whether you're white, black,
Thank you. Your
Asian.
time has elapsed, sir.
And so in closing argument,
Your time has
again,
elapsed, sir. Please
Watts
step back.
versus U.S.
Sir, your time has elapsed. Please step back. Sir, your time has elapsed. Please step back. Sir, your time has elapsed. Please step back.
Next public comment from Grace Apalafi.
Good evening, esteemed members of the board.
Can you speak into the mic?
There you go.
Thank you. Good evening, esteemed members of the board, great administrators, and friends. It is with great enthusiasm that we write this letter to express our unwavering vote of confidence in Dean Timmy Brown, the esteemed Dean of Kinesiology, Health, and Athletics at Pasadena City College. Having witnessed her leadership, dedication, and remarkable contributions to our institution, we are compelled to highlight the extraordinary impact she has made since she started on April 1st, 2024. Dean Brown exemplifies the qualities of a visionary leader. Her ability to inspire and mobilize faculty, staff, and students alike has elevated the KHA department to new heights of academic and professional excellence. Through her innovative strategies, she has not only worked together with faculty to advance the KHA curriculum, but has also fostered an environment that prioritizes inclusivity, collaboration, and student success. Beyond her professional achievements, Dr. Brown is a compassionate and approachable leader who genuinely cares about the well-being of her team. She actively listens, values diverse perspectives, and ensures that every voice is heard and respected. Her commitment to fostering a culture of support and growth is evident in the way she listens to the concerns of students and colleagues and empowers them to reach their full potential. We, the KHA, the faculty and staff, are confident that Dr. Brown's continued leadership will further enhance the reputation and achievements of the Department of KHA. Her dedication, vision, and integrity make her an invaluable asset to our institution. It is a privilege to work alongside such an exemplary leader. We wholeheartedly support her in all her endeavors. And this is signed by 13 faculty and staff members. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public comment from Maurice Marshall. Is there a public comment for last name Marshall? Seeing none. Next public comment from Mr. Shaganaka.
All right, good morning. So, President Jones, Walmart, Ford, Harley Davidson,
Sir, please,
John Deere.
Mr. Shaganaka,
Lowe's.
please remember that you have to address the board and not any individual staff member. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. President Jones.
No, the entire board, not
Lowe's.
individual staff member, please. You can address the board, but not an individual staff member. We'll give you your time back.
Okay, yes. So begin with my comments. President Jones, Lowe's, tractors, tractor supply, Target.
Please address the board. Don't
Spotlight.
address a specific staff member. Thank you. Address the board. Don't mention a specific staff member. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll give you your
Vice
time.
President, Walmart, Ford, Harley Davidson, John Deere, Lowe's, Tractor Supply, Target, Bud Light, Boeing Company. So what do they have in common? Okay. Oh, our Vice President is busy with a cell phone. So the commonality of all those top 500 companies is they recently joined the list of anti-DEI policy. So in the future, when the PCC students were taught by the current administration that you can get a job because of your DEI, and then you can get a promotion because of your DEI, then they end up with one of those top 500 worldwide companies, they will be screwed, because that's not how reality works. So I was wondering, if those students going out of the college, knowing there's a DEI, but when they're applying for a job, they were being told there's no such thing as DEI. I wish those students can come back and to our DEI vice president and to every single president, tell them there's DEI. You should get your tuition refund back. You should get your money back if that's not the reality you're facing. So Christmas spirit, and I wish President Eva Liz a happy Christmas. I'm wishing on a star, I'm trying to believe that even though it's far, she'll find me Christmas Eve. I guess that Eva Liz busy, 'cause she's never come around. I think of her when Christmas comes to town. The best time of the year when everyone comes home. With all this Christmas cheer, it's hard to be alone. Putting up the Christmas tree with friends who come around. It's so much fun when Eva Liz comes to town. When Santa's sleigh bells ring, I listen all around. The herald angels sing, I never hear a sound. And I hope that Eva Liz busy, and I hope that Eva Liz's body can be fully recovered. That's all I want when Christmas comes to town. That's all I want when Eva Liz comes to town. I'm glad to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you, defend
Your time
her
has
still
elapsed.
today.
That concludes public comment on non-agenda items.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, Trustee Gibson?
Yeah, I'm concerned that we have a lot on our agenda tonight, and I want to make sure we give the proper amount of time for each of our agenda items. And I know we have more comments, so I would like to make a motion that we limit individual comments to 10 minutes total for each individual.
Okay, oh, sure. Is there a second to that?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Did I hear 10 minutes?
A total of 10 minutes.
Total of 10 minutes,
Cumulative.
thank you.
Cumulative for
Just wanted
each
to be-
individual.
Is there a second?
Wait, when you say each individual,
Each speaker, each individual public comment speaker.
10 minutes?
Total, across all items.
So, for example, if somebody spoke already for 3
No, this is only moving
Move
forward since
forward.
the motion's being made
Made
right
right
now
now.
by Trustee Gibson. And so I have a second from Trustee Silver. Do we have any discussion on this item? Okay, we'll move to a vote. Student trustee? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay, we are now going to move to the approval of the minutes. Could I potentially get a motion for both sets of minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Liu. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson. Do we have any comments or questions or anything, discussion? We'll move to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, board committee reporting out. Any board committees? Trustee Liu.
The facility subcommittee met yesterday, and we got a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, Vice President Jones and your team, for all that great information. And I know it's on the agenda today, so I won't share too much about it, but it should have been, as part of the agenda, everything y'all reviewed.
Great, thank you. Trustee Silver.
The Budget and Audit Committee had a meeting, and you will be able to have a presentation on that, and we do have the financial statements on our desk. And that is all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Trustee Kwong.
The accreditation policy meeting met, and we reviewed 3 policies and some revisions to it, and I will discuss those revisions at the action items at that time.
Great. Busy committees. Anybody else? Okay, thank you for that. We're now going to move to our combined consent calendar for items F1 through H24. Do we have any public comments on consent calendar items?
Yes, we have several for individual items. Do you want to address them separately?
I think the best way is potentially for us to pull those items so they can be considered, because right now they're on consent. Can you read me?
I will.
Let me have a pen to write this down. Okay.
I'll read them out. We do have one public comment on just agenda item E1, which is the consent.
Okay.
But individually, there are public comments on items F1, F2, G1, G2, G3, H4, H5, H12, and then separately, I would like to pull one of them too, but I can make that a ladder motion.
To do it now.
Great. Move to pull agenda item H7.
Well, let's just say it's H7 for now, just so I have it all, so we can do it at once. So you said E1, F1, F2, G1, G2, G3, H4, H5, H12, and then for yourself separately, H7.
Yes.
Okay. Would you be willing to make a motion to pull those for discussion purposes?
So moved.
Okay. Do you have a second? Seconded by Trustee Gibson. Any discussion? Oh, actually, this is procedural, but any... Okay, we'll move to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Trustee Chanel?
Aye.
Okay. So we're going to pull those items for now so we can have discussion on them. And then, so how about now, can I get a motion? Well, actually, let's take the comment for E1 first on the consent calendar as a whole, and then we'll consider the consent calendar, and then we'll go to the comments on the individual items.
Got it.
So can we have the E1 comment, please?
Yes. Public comment on item E1 from Chief Manuelito.
And this is a reminder for all speakers that you have a cumulative total of 10 minutes across all agenda items. Thank you.
So now that we were abruptly told by a white two that we're only going to get 10 minutes and we're going to be censored, that's on the record tonight. I find it abusive, toxic, and another scheme of political warfare to censor those of us in the public who wish to speak.
Sir, your comment has to be about our consent calendar.
I am on the subject of topic. I'm talking about your censorship, sir.
About the consent calendar. It
Well,
has to be
it
about
has
the
to
consent
do
calendar.
with the items which I have basically 60 seconds to say item number 1, item number 2, item number 1, item number 3, item number 2, item number 5, items 12 through 24 for the record. Now you heard me loud and clear. I am on topic. I spoke on all items, and I'll reiterate. Item 24, item 23, item 22, item 21, item 20, except for 19, there's an exception. Small Business Credit Initiative. I sure hope someone gets some type of credit to open up an establishment of a job. Then I continue forward, item 17, item 16, item 15, item 14, and as far as I'm concerned, I like item 13.
That concludes public comment on this agenda item.
Okay. We will now consider the combined consent calendar items F1 through H24 minus the things that we pulled a second ago. Can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
Moved by Trustee Gibson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Silver. We'll go to a vote. Student Trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay. We are, give me 1 second, I'm just reorganizing myself. Since the board has been going for a little bit and we haven't had a chance to take a break yet, can I call for a 10-minute recess? Can I get a motion for a 10-minute recess?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Aragon. Is there a
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Silver. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. We'll be back in 10. Thank you, everybody. Okay, I'm going to bring us back from recess. Everybody is settled in. If it's amenable to my colleagues, I think it'd be a little bit more straightforward if we took the comments on the polled items together instead of doing it one by one, and then we can consider the rest as like a leftover consent calendar. Is that okay with folks? Any objection to that? Okay. Without objection, we have already done E1, so we're now going to move to E2, F2, excuse me, F1, F1.
Yes, this public comment is for both items, F1 and F2. Public comment from Chief Manuelito.
Regarding the Rose Honor Band and performance trips, I would think it would be a great benefit to the students if their costs were waived by this board and maybe picked up by some of your nonprofits or your pay-to-play players, because many times students go through great leaps and bounds when trying to formulate additional money to pay for trips. And maybe we should request down the street over there, the big fat Gordo mayor of Pasadena, if he could pitch in for that. After all, he did rebuild the Rose Bowl. And after all, Foothill is now traveling to the Rose Bowl. Maybe we can get their pay-to-play players like Fat Mommy Moss from industry to chip in, since she likes to take a lot of bribe money that I and the FBI have been investigating in the last 3 years. So if any of you think of wanting to throw in some money, let me know. I brought a cash bag. Maybe that cash bag can reveal some of the criminal, rehearsed bribery, if any, to be shown on the record. And I wish to reserve my time for my further speaking ability. Thank you.
That concludes public comment on these two agenda items.
Okay, item G1.
Yes, public comment from Chief Manuelito. Okay.
G2.
G2, public comment from Mike Greenspan.
Yes. Is this on? Mike Greenspan. I may have signed up in the wrong category, but I do want to say, first of all, about this basketball coach. Give him a chance. His season is just starting. He could do as well as football, volleyball, and all, but his season is not yet really formed. I mean, it isn't even the Christmas break, so give him a chance. Now, as far as the others, I do want to congratulate them. That was my intent, was to congratulate them for doing a good job and being good sportsmanship people. Because I've officiated and umpired, and I have seen some people with some terrible conduct. I mean, one of them, believe it or not, his son played in a league. This guy is a judge, Lawrence Rubin, an appellate judge.
About men's basketball? Please keep your comment about this item on men's basketball.
Well, I'm talking about a guy just ran over a player like it's nothing. So we really want to have sportsmanship. That's the theme I'm trying to underline. And I've umpired, and in a Christian league, you know what happens when they get caught cheating? They jerk their blame the umpire.
We have another public comment on this agenda item, combined with agenda item G3. Public comment from
G2 and G3 together?
Yes, from Chief M.
Well, one is exploration for the Chicano study framework. You know, Chicanos used to have a good standing in life up until the point when a couple of criminals from Los Angeles, pay to play, RICO, created problems, showing that Chicanos or wetbacks like myself.
Sir, your comment is about G2 and G3, which is men's basketball and badminton, not about.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's just scratch that for the record. As far as men's basketball, kudos, good sportsmanship. That's what I heard. And as far as the badminton, it's a good sport. It's an excellent sport. Matter of fact, if we had more children in schools playing this sport, we'd probably have less obesity problems. But the point is, no one gives a f***. We'd rather see sick kids, and fat councilwomen like the one downtown, Ulysses Hernandez, eat her way into politics. And as far as I'm concerned, she's a fat.
Please keep your comments about
That is
basketball
my
and
final,
badminton.
That is my final comment, sir. Don't interrupt me. Shut up.
Okay. Our next items are H4.
Yes, we have a public comment from Mike Greenspan.
On H4?
On item H4, correct.
Okay.
Mike Greenspan, I still have about 8 minutes left. Now, it's a pet peeve of mine, and it's not just here. It's LA, it's other cities, it's public, it's private. We have terrible arithmetic. How else could I put it? We give cost estimates, and very rarely are they ever accurate. And of course, this being a college, we even have a math department. I would expect some better numbers coming where there's a math department. And let me give you I'm going to use your own numbers. You have augmenting pre-authorized 10% contingency. That's 10% you've already blown the budget. And let's add an additional 2.68% and approving change order number 2 to construction contract number C240002 with First California Construction Company. So you were, from the get-go, 1/8 off. Maybe that's good numbers where I've seen other stuff, because there's a thing in LA, the Bradbury building, it was double the cost overrun. So it's not just government, but it's in general that I have a big axe to grind, because I would like to see better numbers. People, even if you overestimated a little bit and then said, hey, we're in under budget, then that looks really good. And you don't have to go back for every little trivial item just because you've just blown your budget. That's why, it's how else could I describe the way you guys do this? We're 1/8 off. You want to know the best description? It sucks a like this. That's what I think of your estimates. Thank you.
That concludes public comments on H4.
Okay.
We have 2 on H5.
Okay, can we do H5, please?
Yes, H5, public comment from Mike Greenspan. Public comment on item H5 from Chief Manuelito.
Well, I'll reiterate about these better numbers, I don't prefer having percentages. I prefer to round about to the nearest 100,000th, to be precise. For this matter, this would result in better math and oversight on the improvements on our restrooms. I made the county of Los Angeles spend a significant $1 million to revamp their bathrooms in LA County in their chamber. You know what it took me? It took me 8 months to file a complaint under the ADA 2010 standard, and it took those 4 to understand that you don't with me that knows people in government that will come in like I did to the city of Downey and made you spend $21 million to put brand new curbs and ramps. But I know you're not going to do that. I know the restrooms are going to be up to the modification of the 2010 standard of the ADA. And you're going to ensure that a consultant of the ADA advises you so there's no mistakes, and we're going to get better numbers, and Mr. Wang Tang over there will understand that you don't with the American Disability Act. It's real. Many of you have family members that are elderly that are disabled. Many of you have family members that are disabled. And many of you have students here that are disabled, and you wouldn't know because they walk around with an invisible disability. Thank you.
Okay, is that it for H5?
Yes, that's it.
We're
for
now at
H5.
H12.
H12, we have a public comment from Mike Greenspan.
All right. Mike Greenspan, I think I got 5 minutes left. Hopefully, if there's a disagreement, let me know now. Wanted to go over this because 12 and 5 were kind of related, maybe a different one-word difference, but it's the restroom modification project that we're changing the orders on. And I just wish we would do that a little. You don't have to railroad everything through. Choo-choo! Take your time, get your numbers right, even if it means a month or two delay in completion. I would rather you do it right. You would probably cut down time on these meetings if you actually took the time and did how would I look at it, a pre-examination. And maybe these meetings could go faster because some of these things wouldn't even be coming up before here because you wouldn't have to be changing the orders. And it's, as I say, it would be easy just to scapegoat government, but I'm not going to do it. It's private too, and I see it happen all the time. People just don't know their arithmetic. It's sad, and it's really sad. And this, when it's government, we pay for it. If it's out of your pocket or your pocket or your pocket, hey, you eat the cost. So that's why I'm talking about this change. Hopefully, we don't have to be with these change orders, that they can be prevented. Thank you.
That concludes public comment on the combined consent calendar.
Okay, and then I believe you, Trustee Liu, as Chair of Facilities, pulled, I lost the number, H7, is it?
H7, yes.
Okay, we can go to discussion of that item, H7.
Yeah, I just pulled that because we got a wonderful presentation yesterday from the facility subcommittee from the great facilities team at PCC. And, you know, the mirror pools is the front door of our campus. It's where all the students hang out. It's what a lot of people think about when they think about PCC. So I know Vice President Jones has prepared a very quick video to show you what our front door is going to look like after these renovations.
Excellent. VP Jones, please.
Thank you all. I'm just going to click play so you all can look. This is a conceptual design drawing that we received about a year and a half ago outlining the Mirror Pools project. I just wanted to say that we are really happy that the project is on your agenda tonight to be awarded to CW Driver, which is a local Pasadena company. We're really excited to partner with them. They've got over 100 years experience, so we believe that the partnership and the understanding that they have in terms of the importance of our front door of the campus is sort of paramount to them being coming on campus and doing this really, really great work for us. I did want to make a quick note. So the way that the projects work, or that this project was bid at, is that CW Driver actually came back with what is called a guaranteed maximum price for the project, which is $5.255 million. So we have that, which includes a 10% owner-driven contingency project on that. One of the pieces that I want to just really highlight from when the project originally started to now is that we have actually really been very strategic about building in a variety of different, I'm going to minimize this now since that's over, of a variety of different opportunities for that area. So That includes public Wi-Fi in that area, new seating, new landscaping, uplights that light up both E, D, and C building. It was really important and intentional for the college to do a lot of that work at one time. And then it also includes an accelerated 120-day schedule. So they are ready to go. They are, have been working really closely with our facilities department on all of the various aspects that meet that. And we expect for the mirror pools to be ready for us by graduation time. So it's on your agenda this evening, and we hope for your support.
Thank you so much, Vice President Jones.
Since we have this item pulled, any questions or discussion on this by my colleagues?
No, I just want to say, can I go? Yes.
Yeah, please. No, go ahead.
I just want to say I'm so excited about that those shaded areas, the benches for students to study and gather. What else did I see in there? Yeah, that was the main thing that really excited me, the good use of the trees and the natural shade in the seating areas.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
And plugs for students to charge.
Yes, there's electric outlets on each of those seating areas, so it'll be a really great space for our students to spill out with their instructors as well, to do project-based work and activities. So,
Trustee Gibson and then Kwong.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really want to comment on the process that this went through. We've discussed this at the board over the past couple of years and seen the changes and developments with it. So I really appreciate that we've been kept up to date with all the changes that needed to happen. So thank you.
Trustee Kwong?
I'm really happy to hear that there is public Wi-Fi. Is it going to require, is it an open Wi-Fi or is it a private PCC Wi-Fi with the password only for students and staff?
So in that area, we do both. We have guest Wi-Fi as well as also Wi-Fi for our staff, faculty, and students to log into.
Oh, so students have access to Wi-Fi. Is it only in that area or is it throughout the campus?
Wi-Fi, we've been planning and doing really great. Our Chief Technology Officer is here today, so I'll give him a little shout out along with my Executive Director of Facilities. They've been doing a lot of work to go through campus to test sort of the areas to make sure that Wi-Fi is available. Currently, that's one of our larger areas outside in addition to the quad, and so our focus as a part of this project is to add to. We do have public Wi-Fi or open Wi-Fi in our parking lots. That was sort of an extension of when we were in the COVID times. We extended our Wi-Fi networks there so that students who needed to connect, they could do so via the parking lot. So we continue to improve and expand coverage.
And how strong is that signal going to be?
I mean, anybody would be able to surf the internet out there without any network latency.
So it's also open to the public, too. It's an open
Correct.
system.
We do today, actually, the Wi-Fi shuts down at particular really late hour nights so that, we're really focused on folks who are needing that service during business hours. And so it starts to turn off in the evening. So we have classes from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. So it's available during those times. And then we get past midnight, then we shut it off until 6 a.m. in the next morning.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Student Trustee Wong.
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you, VP Candace Jones, and everybody that worked on this plan for taking into consideration how students currently use that space and adding in factors that would really enhance that. I know for certain that the inclusion of the outlets as well as the Wi-Fi will make that a much more holistic space for students. So thank you.
Very exciting all around. Okay, thank you, VP Jones. I think that's our discussion on H7, but I know that we've had a few items earlier that because they were pulled, I want to make sure if any of my colleagues have any questions or discussion about any of the items that we have pulled.
I have just a quick question on G1.
Okay, go ahead.
It's just quick. I didn't want to.
You can ask.
As far as who's attending, that's through the Puente Learning Center, correct? Is that? And then just want to know who's attending and how many.
Is that something that we can follow up with you on, or?
Get the numbers as to how many. There's a number of projects linked to that, so there's different events. That's the most recent one, but I can get data for you.
Okay, great. I appreciate that.
Thank you,
Thank you
Trustee
very
Agnew.
much.
Thank you,
How
VP
many
Ramirez.
and
Who will be attending? Yeah, who's eligible to attend? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no further discussion, can I have a motion to adopt items E1, F1, F2, G1, G2, G3, H4, H5, H12, and H7?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Liu. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Student Trustee Wong. Any further discussion? We kind of already did it.
Yeah, a lot of.
Okay, seeing none, we'll go to a vote. Student Trustee?
Aye.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously for those items that were pulled. Thank you very much. Okay, we're now going to go to our personnel calendar, the section I, the approval of personnel consent calendar I2 to I4. Are there any comments on these?
Yes, we have one public comment on item I3.
I3. Let's just go ahead and take, is that the only one for all?
Yes.
Let's just go ahead and take that.
Okay. We have one public comment from item I3 from Mike Greenspan.
How much time do I have left?
Staff was tracking. Can they? You have 5 minutes and 21 seconds left.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me go over this thing because one of the things, approve, ratify additional compensation for academic personnel. Now, I hate to be the killjoy, but we've just come out of a budget deficit. And we've got a little cocky and have said revenues are up. But already the governor wants to be Santa Claus and ho, ho, ho. He wants to spend that, go into the reserve fund and everything else. So I'm wondering, well, where's this money coming from? If we're spending money before we even get it, that's basically the thought of Sacramento. And now you're wanting to give more money. Now, I have given this lecture before in other places about the budget deficit. And you can't go relying on Sacramento for more money when last year, what was it? They were $73 billion in debt, something like that. And so when we're looking at this money, where's it coming from? I seem to be getting the picture that they're reaching into the reserve fund that's not supposed to be, we're not supposed to be reaching into it. We can have everything as an emergency, everything as a must-have item. But then we'll have a big old goose egg for a budget. And so there's some guy, I guess a UCLA professor, was grandstanding on KNX talking about he can't afford a place to live and he makes over $70,000 a year. Gee whiz, if I made over $70,000 a year, I could still probably find a place somewhere to live in Los Angeles County. Now, Councilmember Yaroslavsky is in the ballpark in the 70,000 bracket, and she has a roof over her head, I don't know where. So unlike these grandstanding professors that perhaps spend more than they have and want a grandstand, and he had to drive down to San Diego to stay with a friend, we really need to teach these people to spend their money better, and we need to teach the college system not to just give it away as if they want to be Santa Claus each and every day, and that teach them how to spend the money right. Hopefully they all know how to balance their checkbooks and everything. I just can't see where somebody would make $70,000 a year plus and be homeless unless they got a drug, alcohol, gambling problem and every other vice on the planet. I just can't. It's not lavish, but someone should at least be able to have a roof over their head. Thank you.
That concludes public comment on this agenda item.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I have a motion to approve personnel consent calendar items I2 to I4?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Aragon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson. Student trustee does not vote on personnel consent calendar. Any discussion? Okay, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
That passes.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay, that was the personnel consent calendar. We're now going to go to item J1, receipt of fiscal year 2023-24 district financial audit.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me here tonight. I'm going to give you a brief summary of the results of the audit for the year ended June 30, 2024. As Trustee Silver mentioned, we did have an audit committee meeting to go over this in detail with the trustees that are members of that committee. And I'm going to give you guys the highlights of what happened and then take any questions that you might have. If you have hard copies and you're following along, I'm going to go over page 105 way in the back of the report. This page is what I like to call the audit report card. It gives a summary of all of our major audit opinions and results for the year. This report and all of the information in it is prepared by management, and then what we do is we come in and we give our opinions over that information. We give 3 opinions for the district, 1 over financial statements, 1 over federal compliance, and 1 over state compliance. For the district's financial statements, the district received a clean, unmodified opinion. It's the highest level of assurance that we can give, and it states that the financial statements that were prepared by management were free of material misstatement and free of material non-compliance. So that's definitely what you want to see in your audit report. For federal awards, the district also received an unmodified clean opinion. We reviewed the Student Financial Aid Program, the TRIO programs, and also the Early Action Emergency Grants. And then lastly, for state compliance, the Chancellor's Office asks us to look at a laundry list of different items in terms of the district's state awards. And again, we gave another clean, unmodified opinion. And then starting on page 106 is where we list our findings and recommendations. You'll notice that they're blank pages. We did not have any findings and recommendations for the district this year to report. And so in summary, the district received 3 clean, unmodified opinions with no findings and recommendations. And with that, I will turn it over for any questions you might have on our report or our audit in general.
Any of my colleagues have any questions? Going once, going twice, waiting one more second. Okay. Thank you very much for your time and the presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
We'll now go to consideration of this item. Can I get a motion to approve the motion to receive our fiscal year 23-24 district financial audit?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Silver. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Trustee Aragon. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All else in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Next, we have item J2, which is the approval of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Pasadena Area Community College District and the California School Employees Association, Chapter 777. Do you have any comments? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Gibson. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Kwong. Any discussion? Okay, seeing this is a personnel item, we will not have the student trustee vote. So everybody else, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you. Next is item J3.
Yes, we have one public comment.
Okay, so this item is the approval of Memorandum of Understanding regarding disciplinary procedures between the district and CSCA 777. Can we go with the public comment, please?
Yes, we have a public comment from Chief.
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting regarding the disciplinary procedures between Area Community College and the California school employees. Well, let me tell you something on the record. I used to be a school employee until I had some circumstances on the job after 18 years. And I was almost deprived of my CalPERS. My retirement stolen by that scumbag governor in Sacramento, Scum Newsom. And it's no joke. When you got political enemies within your own organization that we try to build up and push forward one another as educators or teachers or professors. But we find out the truth. And I didn't bring my bag up here to show you what I think of Los Angeles or about California, how it sucks. But that's what I found out. I found out that employees, associations, whether it's chapters, unions, or SEIUs, they're only about themselves. Had I known that, I wouldn't have wasted 18 years. I wouldn't have got the recognition in the LA Times. I never would have gotten the response I got for thinking outside the box as a thinker. And who would ever thought a like me from Boyle Heights, CD14 of Los Angeles, would come out with an outstanding recognition by the LA Times, by a writer by the name of Poole. See, it seems that God has an interest in me. He had Poole on me and put me on the front page of the LA Times. And then I get bombarded between the disciplinary procedures when you think outside the box and they try to fuck you over on the job. And that's the only reason why I use this vulgarity, this scary words of just a word. Words are just words. So don't take my loud vulgarity and my venomous speech as hate speech. It's just a matter of fact that I realized I was getting and I decided to do something about it. And now you're witnessing it, because the day of God's judgment is just right around the corner, and I don't have to fear anything but watch my neighbors, watch my employees, watch all employees
Thank you. Your time has elapsed.
fear God.
Thank you. Your time has elapsed.
That concludes public comment on this agenda item.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve item J3?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Liu. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson. Any discussion? Okay, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Okay, item J4, approval of the MOU between the district and our wonderful POA.
We have two public comments on this agenda item. First public comment from Mike Greenspan.
How much time left?
Give us 2 minutes and 47 seconds.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mike Greenspan. I had a chance to talk with the officer and had one question about the union they were in. And he says it's a union just for police officers. Now, the reason I say that, there's a union, and I call them the Purple Shirt Union. They're 98,000 strong, and their tentacles are everywhere. And not just city of L.A., but I mean everywhere throughout the San Gabriel Valley. We're talking about SEIU 721. And they even represent some police officer unions. Now, I know that the rank and file officers have one union, and then there's another management level. I think the lieutenants and captains in most places are a separate bargaining unit. But now, I have no problem with a memorandum of understanding. I hope they're good numbers. I hope we're not breaking the bank. We seem to get a few bucks in our pocket, and we always have a tendency to go over the budget and thinking that the taxpayers are going to be just there to bail you out. Well, let's just add another 0.5% on our assessments on the property tax, and that'll just solve it all. I've been around, and that seems to always be the solution to education, is just put it on the property taxes. Oh, we'll just say, oh, it's just another pizza a week, or it's just another pair of shoes every 2 months or something. You know, they try to reduce it to ridiculous numbers. And then when you start looking at the list of all the things you voted on and been suckered into voting for, that's your house. Your personal homestead is your piggy bank in their eyes. So that's why I hope, at least I'm grateful, it's a decent union that represents the people. It's not that SEIU 721 that kept stuffing my mailbox with things about Bob Hertzberg, a slimy Jewish lawyer who would say anything for a vote. And we voted against their union, 721, because we wanted to vote for our people. Thank God they haven't infiltrated this Police Officers Association.
Next public comment from Chief Manuelito.
You know, I just had
Sir,
my
you-
conversations with the rank and file.
Sir, just letting you know that you have 53 seconds left. But
Correct. At the LAPD Police Commission this past week. And you know what that little SWAT commissioner told me? That I'm off topic. You know what I told him? Full of shit. Because when the chief there is getting a 20% raise of making $500,000 more than the President of the United States, I find that offensive. And besides, we're no different than saying the police, right? You've heard it once, you heard it twice. But there are good officers. And maybe within this conversation, item 4, maybe we should consider a 5% raise to security and to any law enforcement here in Pasadena, because I believe they deserve it. And I'll take my remaining time on item 5. Thank you.
That concludes public comment on this agenda item.
give me 1 second. Is that 5 seconds left? Okay. J4, can we get a motion to approve this MOU?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Gibson. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Kwong. Thank you very much. Any discussion? We'll go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you. Next is item J5, approval of COLA increase.
We have one public comment. Public comment from Chief.
You have 5 seconds, sir.
Oppose the increase.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve item J5?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Silver. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry. That passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay. We'll now, can we take a 5-minute recess? Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Trustee Seconded. Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute recess. Thank you. We are going to now come back from recess. Thank you all for your time today. We're going to continue on with our agenda for item J6, the approval of additions, modifications, and deletions to the credit and non-credit curriculum. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Silver. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Kwong. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Student trustee? Everybody else all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have a number of bylaws and
Yes.
things like that. Would you like to tee it up for us, Trustee Kwong?
Sure. Okay. Presented to you before the board is Board Bylaw 2015, which was reviewed at the Policy Committee. This is an amendment to the bylaw that deals with the participation of a student member on the board as a student trustee. There are basically just a few minor revisions to it. The first revision, or three revisions, is that at the time that the student is appointed, they must be enrolled in 5 semester units at the district. That's the first revision. The second revision is that the student member is to cast an advisory vote. Those are all pursuant to Education Code Section 72023.5, and that is up for approval after recommendation by the Policy Committee.
Thank you. Do you want to maybe go through the other ones too, just so we can
You want to do it all at the same time?
Yeah, it might be a little easier.
Up before you for presentation is Board Bylaw 2340, which is our agendas, our board agendas. There's a few revisions in here. The first revision is that the agenda, in addition to being posted on the website, needs to be in a location that's physically accessible 24 hours a day, and that is pursuant to Government Code 54942. It's always been in the Government Code, but we are adding it in the board bylaw. The second one deals with the member of the public that is requesting a copy of the agenda and the imposition of standardized fees. So if they're asking for a copy of the agenda by mail and we have to make photocopies, we are giving the superintendent's office to set standardized fees in order to receive a hard copy of that agenda. However, if the request is made by email, there is no fee charged for that. And the last item is public comments by a member of the public on items that are being proposed for the board to consider. And there is a recommendation to limit those public comments to 5 minutes. That's not in the Brown Act, but it is a recommendation. And if a member of the public is submitting an agenda item and they want to resubmit it again, they have to wait 180 days. That's also a recommended provision, not in the Brown Act.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And do you want to do the AP too? If you want to talk about it. Otherwise, we'll just...
Okay. The last item is the Administrative Procedures 2110, and it deals with the vacancies on the board. This is a revision to the administrative procedure that aligns with the Government Code on how to fill a vacancy should we have a trustee that has to vacate the office midterm, and it just kind of goes over the procedures on what the board is to do. It reflects the statutory law, although it doesn't lay it out in full detail, and the recommendation is it really doesn't need to be that wordy. We would confer with outside counsel before we do that.
And the reason that this is not a BP but an AP is that the vacancy on the board is on how the administration, the president's office, would have procedures in helping the board fill the vacancy procedure. So this is why it's not a board policy but an AP.
Thank you.
Oh, final thing. The reference is to, to the Education Code 5092.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to the committee for the work on updating these and making sure that we're aligned with the best recommendations, certainly statewide. And thank you to the staff time dedicated to doing this work. Can I get a motion to approve J7, 8, and 9?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Chen Lao. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson. Do we have any discussion on these items?
I just,
Please.
one question.
No, go
on
ahead.
the vacancy on the board, there was a mention, I mean, I do need to review that, but You said in consultation with the administration?
No,
Is
it's,
it,
it's
just
not
a
in
little more
cons-
explanation
Oh
for
yes,
myself.
it's not
Thank
in
you.
consultation with the administration. Is that when there's a vacancy on the board, the president's office will need to coordinate posting of that vacancy and help the board structure any type of process that will lead to filling of the vacancy. So it's strictly administrative, and how we fill the vacancy is going to be based on the board's decision, not the president's decision.
Okay, thanks. Just want to be clear.
Does
Thank
that
you.
clarify that for you?
That very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then. We're going to now move to a vote on these 3 items and these updates. Student trustee?
Aye.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you. And then our next action item is J10, our midterm report for the ACCJC.
Do we have a presentation
Okay.
or no?
I don't think so. I think, folks, this was in your
Yes.
packets to be reviewed. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Aragon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Liu. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to just comment on the work that was put into this midterm report. I know that Crystal and her team has worked on this, and as well as gone through various shared governance group review and came to the accreditation and policy committee. And I'd like to also thank the chair of that committee, Trustee Kwan, for reviewing it as well during the committee. And we had some questions around that, and certainly this was a group effort. It takes a village to get one of these reports done, and I would recommend folks, taking a look at this report. It has some really great information around the progress that's been made since the last visit.
Now you're stressing me out.
Sorry. Great. Then in that case, we'll move to a vote for the approval of this item. Student trustee?
Aye.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you very much. And that concludes our action items for the evening. We're now going to go to our information items. We're going to first begin with a presentation on professional development at PCC. There he is. Thank you.
Good evening, trustees, colleagues, and community members. Thank you for this opportunity to share a little bit about the professional development program that we have here at Pasadena City College. There's much ground that could be covered related to this topic, but I'm going to focus tonight's presentation on these 5 questions. 1, why is it important for PCC to support professional learning for its people? 2, how is professional development at PCC organized and coordinated? 3, what types of professional development opportunities exist for our employees? 4, what does engagement in professional development look like at PCC? And 5, what are some of the impacts of professional development programming at the college? So I want to begin by just underscoring why we are so eager to support the professional learning of our people. And first of all, every person that works at the college needs access to opportunities that allows them to grow and develop in their specific role and career. Second, we live in a world that's constantly changing. We all experienced that with the onset of the pandemic, and now, with the arrival of generative artificial intelligence. Third, PCC and the broader California Community College system has laid out some very ambitious goals that's going to require us to expand our knowledge sets and our practices. When you take up these pieces together, the underlying theory here is that if you provide access to a wide variety of opportunities, that leads to individual and organizational learning, which then leads to enhanced experiences and outcomes for our employees and our students. PCC's professional development program is organized and coordinated as follows. The Office of Professional and Organizational Development, or OPOD, is the office I oversee, and it's primarily responsible for developing, coordinating, and evaluating professional development at the college. The biennial PD needs survey is used to assess the learning needs from each constituent group. There are various shared governance committees that then assure that the program that we have for professional development is responsive to those needs. The flexible calendar program, which is facilitated through the Chancellor's Office, lays out parameters related to professional development, particularly for faculty. And the Vision Resource Center serves as the online learning platform that our college and the system uses to deliver and document professional learning. While these components are primary, I really want to highlight that professional development at Pasadena City College is a college-wide endeavor, and there are several offices and individuals that make really significant contributions, particularly the Office of Institutional Equity, Diversity, and Justice, the Office of Human Resources, our Title III and Title V grant teams, and the distance education team. There's a wide variety of professional development opportunities that exist for our people, but for tonight I'm kind of categorizing them into these 5 buckets. First, we have PCC trainings and workshops. These are facilitated and designed by PCC employees. They could be in person or online synchronous, and they're usually one touch point. PCC institutes and courses are also designed by PCC people and facilitated by PCC people. They could be in person or online synchronous, but they'll have multiple touch points. Online asynchronous is essentially the 4,000 learning objects that are available to us through the Vision Resource Center. And then we have conferences, in-person and virtual, and another bucket that is including all activities that don't really fall in the first 4, but that Title V lays out as still viable opportunities for people. I'm going to just spend a little bit of time on those 3 that are circled. I'm going to start with conferences and work my way up. So in academic year 23-24, the OPOD funded travel for 104 individuals. All of those folks submitted an application that went to their constituent group to be reviewed and then endorsed. So for example, the 67 faculty, their applications would have gone to the Faculty Development Committee, who reports to Academic Senate, and those would have been approved and then funded. We have quite a wide range of institutes and courses that are available to our people at PCC. I didn't provide the enrollment data for all of these, but you can get a sense of the topics as well as the time engagement that is involved with each of these. In academic year 23-24, we had over 200 PCC trainings and workshops offered. And more than half of those were delivered during our 2 professional development days. So in the fall of 23 and the spring of 24, those were when the 2 days occur. Together, there were 108 sessions provided, and we had over 160 of our people involved in facilitating those sessions, which is really quite remarkable that we have that many people delivering learning for their peers. In total, we had 1,205 unique registrants at those 2 PD days, so that averages out to about 600 people attending each professional development day. So what does engagement look like? Again, using academic year 23-24 as our sample, full-time PCC employees on average completed 13 hours of professional learning. When we look at each group exclusively, full-time faculty completed 19 hours, classified staff completed 5, managers completed 9 hours, and adjunct faculty, they're not full-time, but we included them here for interest's sake, they completed 2 hours. I'm going to take now full-time faculty, which is our largest full-time group, and show you how their time was distributed across these types of activities. So for full-time faculty, 53% of their time was allocated to PCC workshops and trainings. 11% of their time was allocated to conferences, 4% to online asynchronous, and then 32% to this other bucket. And an example of something that would fall in this other bucket is if we had a group of math faculty that informally got together to do a book club on a book about equitable grading practices, and then they submitted that to be counted towards their documentation of their professional development. Finally, I want to share a little bit about some of the impacts of our professional development programming. So this is data from the academic year 23-24, again, our 2 PD days, and it's taken together, the end-of-day survey data. So 81% of respondents to the survey agreed or strongly agreed with the statement, "I was satisfied with the range of workshop topics offered today." And 88% of respondents, 88% of respondents agreed or strongly agreed with the statement, "I learned something today that I will apply to my daily work at the college." And we had about a 30% response rate for this survey. All individuals who attend a conference are asked to outline in their application how they will share that information when they return back to the college. When we coordinate a small group of people to go to a specific conference, we usually make some kind of more intentional efforts to connect that conference learning to the work of the district. So, for example, we currently have a working group that is focused on drafting plans for Center for Teaching and Learning. And so in November, we sent a small group of people to the POD Network Conference, which is a convening for higher ed practitioners that are engaged with Centers for Teaching and Learning. That group also had access to a Padlet where they could document their learning and insights from the conference. And then we will be having a meeting with the conference attendees and the working group so that they can contribute those ideas into the planning further for the CTL. By the end of this coming winter intersession, we will have 81 faculty who will have completed the community-based teaching course. Upon completing that course, you can then move into phase 2 and become a community-based learning fellow. And when you are a fellow, you have access to support in matching with a community partner and also redesigning your course to embed a community-based project that addresses the learning outcomes of the course as well as the needs of the community partner. And so far we have 22 PCC courses that have been redesigned to incorporate a CBL project with one of our community partners. Aspire PCC is a one-year institute that aims to build the leadership capacity of faculty, classified staff, and administrators. And one tool for assessing the impact of this program that we use is the Leadership Efficacy Questionnaire. This is a validated instrument that measures people's beliefs and their capabilities to lead. And for the 50 individuals who have completed the institute so far, the average change in leadership efficacy is plus 11%. In closing, I want to circle back to one of the ideas that I mentioned at the very beginning, and that is that professional development at Pasadena City College is a college-wide endeavor. There are many talented and gifted people that we have in our midst, and I would love to name every single person that's involved in some of the projects that are included in this presentation. I can't, but I will close by just saying that I want to acknowledge their contributions. So thank you. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to address them.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robinson. Dr. Gomez?
Can you just give us a 30-second or 45-second explanation about Aspire?
Sure.
Or a minute.
So Aspire PCC, again, a year-long institute. We accept 25 people each year. We have 7 sessions. They're full-day sessions. We have 2 texts that we use. One of the texts is Bowman and Deal, Reframing Organizations, and the other text that we use is Equity Talk to Equity Walk. The first year we had 25 applicants. The second year we had about 27. This year we had 45 applicants, and we were able to accept 27. I co-facilitate that experience along with one of our very respected and wise retired managers, Joyce Miyabi. Thank you.
Trustee Silver?
Hi. Thank you for your presentation. I'm really happy to hear about this. So that made me think about Aspire. Does it cross, is it open to classified and faculty and management?
Yes, it's open to all, and we try to keep the seats like distributed equitably. So we have usually 8 or 9 managers, eight faculty, maybe 8 classified staff. And what's wonderful about that is that a lot of times we come here and we kind of are, stuck in our silos. And this is a great opportunity for people to kind of expand their understanding of how our organization functions. Even if that's not your typical role, you get to have access to that.
Well, that is kind of the highest form of using professional development to improve the college when you have when you're crossing the kinds of people that are involved. So I'm just delighted to hear that we're doing this, and who knows, maybe we should give a session at a conference about this, because it sounds awesome. Then I do have one question on the community engaged teaching.
Yes.
Can you give us an example, just because I can't think of one? What would it mean to have community-based learning embedded in something?
I can give one example because I attended the students' final presentations for one of these courses, and it was one of our non-credit courses. The students partnered with an organization in LA that supports heritage businesses. So students had to identify a business within our community that has been around for generations, and then they interviewed those folks and tried to establish some form of relationship. And I think that some of our trustees were at that presentation. It was about a year ago.
Yeah, I connected some students to El Portal.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Trustee Gibson and then Trustee Aragon.
Yeah. You may have already answered this when you began, but what's the pitch to a staff person of why professional development? Why should I be interested? Why should I do it?
Yeah. I would love, my working motto every day is that I want everyone to come here and conceive of themselves as a learner. And because no matter whether we're actively, pursuing a learning activity, we're probably learning through a lot of our day. We're coming up with even cases of scenarios we faced before, but it's a unique case, and we always take something different from that. So I encourage people to get involved for that. But maybe even equally important is the opportunity to connect with other people, because learning is a collaborative process. And in order for this community to pursue and achieve the goals we've laid out, it's going to be involving a lot of collaborative work. And so we need to know how to collaborate, and that really comes through learning about each other and building relationships.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Trustee Aragon.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
You bet.
All about PD. So I have a couple of questions. My point is that I think it's wonderful, to do homegrown professional development. Yeah. So if someone attends a conference or other opportunity, that they bring it back to the campus and then announce it campus-wide, so that, not just one department would be going, but many people. So is that happening? Is that what happens in, let's say, if someone is doing a workshop or if they're doing a PD, it's open to all? Is it advertised that way, or is it just?
So I'm going to answer that question in kind of a, more maybe specific way. When you look at the data that we have 160 people who are delivering workshops on Professional Development Day, I think a lot of what happens in those sessions is that's learning that's coming back to the college from people who have been engaged at a conference or in other forms of learning. We don't have a structured, designated date or time when a person has to come back and share that learning. And I've tried to encourage people to find other more explicit ways to embed that learning, rather than just sharing it with a colleague, but get involved with a committee. Take that work to a committee where we're actually trying to change and evolve as a community.
So the professional development happenings happen also throughout the academic year, right?
Yeah.
Not just during our convocation, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Right, okay. And then again, just to express, my concern and hope that, there's continued equitable distribution of opportunities, for everyone to attend conferences, especially our adjuncts. So I guess that would be the question maybe for the Senate President at one point. What is the opportunity? Because I know back in the day there was a certain dollar amount. I won't get into that, but so equitable distribution opportunities, and then especially for the adjunct, how is that going?
Adjunct faculty are eligible to apply for funding through Academic Senate. Right. And this is why your concern, Trustee, is why we have the mechanism of allowing the constituent groups to decide how to distribute the funds that they've been allocated.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, especially so it gives many people opportunities to attend conferences or have these right?
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern. So.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much. That's it.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and your
so
presentation.
much.
It was really informative. Thank you very much. Okay, we're now going to go to Superintendent President's report. Dr. Gomez.
Thank you very much, Jason, for that wonderful presentation about the incredible professional development work that's being done at PCC. I always enjoy the conversations that we have and the work that you're doing, and I know that you have amazing future projects planned as well. Good evening, everyone. As the fall term closes, I'm happy to report some positive news about our enrollment numbers. For fall 2024, our full-time equivalent students figure, which we refer to as FTES, is almost 3% above our fall 2023 FTES. Now, as we calculate the final numbers, particularly from non-credit classes, we expect our fall enrollment to continue to increase and grow. As of today, our enrollment for our winter continues to be strong at over 5% higher than this time last year. Spring 2025 enrollment is also looking very positive. Since we last met, the college has hosted many wonderful and important programs and events. Last month, our very own trustee, Dr. Steve Gibson, provided a wonderful introduction for a writing workshop with PCC's writer-in-residence, Linnell George. Linnell is an essayist and author who has focused much of her work on PCC alum and trailblazing science fiction writer Octavia Butler. Now, some of you may not know this, but Trustee Gibson is also a noted science fiction author and editor of incredible science fiction anthologies. In fact, many of his works are now being translated into several other languages. He was a very fitting speaker for that event, and I just want to recommend, if you already haven't read his work, please go out and find it. It's easily accessible on Google and your favorite online book providers. Our Performing and Communication Arts Division has also hosted many performances over this last month, including theater productions such as Tartuffe and the Rover, as well as many concerts from our vocal and musical ensembles. I was fortunate enough to attend many of these performances, and I got to say, I'm constantly amazed by the incredible talent and passion of our students, faculty, and staff. I hope some of you have been able to attend. I know that I've seen some of you at the events, and if not, I hope that you attend a performance or two next semester. As we near the end of the year, I know we are all looking forward to Band Fest and the Rose Parade, especially seeing our incredible PCC Honor Band conducted by our very own director, Kyle Luck. These events are always wonderful, but this year they will be extra special as we mark our centennial celebration. As I've shared before, PCC is the official sponsor of the Rose Court Float, and we are excited to be organizing decorating events for our community to help our float come to life later this month. We had so much interest after we sent out a call for volunteers earlier this week that we are now looking into creating even more opportunities for more of us to take part in the tradition, because the slots filled up immediately. I mean, it was really unprecedented. We had no idea that so many people would want to participate. I'm also happy to share that the college continues to lead the way in our efforts to build a more sustainable campus and community. In addition to receiving an award from the Board of Governors, which I mentioned last month, we recently marked the opening of a native plant garden outside of the C building. You can all, if you all go sort of on the eastern side of the C building, you will see that our staff from Facilities Grounds partnered with faculty and students from the Sustainability Club and also our core students to plant the garden with native and drought-tolerant plants. As part of the project, students learned about plant resilience and biodiversity through educational workshops from local Pasadena-based nonprofit, the Urban Homestead. This is the first of many projects that Facilities will be working on in partnership with students, faculty, and staff across the campus. I also have to mention some exciting recognition that our very own PCC alum and trustee, Ryan Liu, recently received. Trustee Liu, wait for it, was named to the Forbes annual 30 under 30 list in education. Trustee Liu was selected from over 20,000 nominations of rising leaders from across North America. You already got a round of applause, but I want to give you another round of applause, because when they mentioned him in the article, he talked about PCC, and he said that his goal was to spread dual enrollment across the district, and we are almost there. We have one more school district that we're getting to, and so we appreciate that. Finally, as we close out the semester and we embrace the holiday season, I want to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude. It has been an exceptional time here at PCC, and I'm truly thankful to be part of this community. Thank you to our dedicated staff, faculty, and the Board of Trustees for your unwavering commitment to our students. Your care and support make a profound difference in their lives and futures. You play an essential role in their success and the continued excellence of PCC. I appreciate everything you do and wish you a joyful and restful holiday season with your loved ones. But as we look ahead to the new year and the uncertainty it may bring, it is more important than ever to reaffirm our shared commitment to unity, support, and inclusion for our students and community. That commitment is unwavering, and we are continually monitoring national developments to ensure that we can fully support our students with the resources and services that they need to feel safe and thrive. Finally, before I close, I want to take a moment to honor a member of our PCC family who passed away last month. Joanne Ohanesian served as a library technician at the Shatford Library for 42 years before retiring in 2014. During her time at PCC, she led several library task forces working closely with faculty. Joanne was present at the opening of the Shatford Library in 1993 and thus was a bridge between the original campus library and our current modern facility. She took the lead in working with faculty to assist students with their technology needs, and together established our library computer labs, which are still active today. Joanne passed away on November 13th. On behalf of the PCC community, I would like to ask that we adjourn tonight's meeting in her memory. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gomez. We'll now go to L1, announcements by shared governance representatives and the Board of Trustees. We'll begin with Associated Students and President Martinez.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. Just wanted to start off by thanking and congratulating everyone for a successful semester. And last week, Associated Students, in collaboration with members of the PCC community, hosted the Finals Relaxation Week and Winterfest to help our Lancers de-stress as we dove into Finals Week. And I wish the best of luck to all of our students as we reach the end of our semester. Associated Students also went out and supported our victorious football team with the successful student section, so kudos to them once again. And I also want to take the time to say that I actually visited the Science Center out in the Science Village, and it's such a wonderful space and a sense of community that they have over there. And I had the honor to talk with some of our students in the center, engaged how they felt about certain issues over there. And just in general, Associated Students is glad that those issues were resolved relatively quickly. And in the future, we want to make it known that we have an open door policy with all students, so that if any student has concerns or questions, you can always contact us or visit us in the Office of Student Life. And just happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you. We'll now go to Ms. Godinez with the Classified Senate.
Hello, Board of Trustees. The Classified Senate has officially commenced for fall and will not be meeting again until spring 2025. As we reflect on the accomplishments of our Senate, we also want to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible contributions by all classified professionals across campus. We thank you for your dedication and hard work this semester. To the Board, there is gratitude for all the effort and commitment each of you brings to PCC. The amount of work you invest to ensure our students are well served and that our educational mission continues to be fulfilled does not go unrecognized. However, there are some concerns regarding the recent decision to cancel the January board meeting. There is understanding around the challenges of balancing individual commitments, but we must emphasize that the work done in these meetings is critical. The decisions made here have a direct impact on student success, the strategic direction of our institution, and our ability to respond to the ever-evolving needs of the communities we serve. Every meeting, every decision, and every discussion here is an opportunity to drive student achievement and institutional progress. Delays in decision-making have a ripple effect, influencing everything from hiring much-needed classified professionals, approving funding allocations, providing faculty support, and student services. The work done in these meetings is integral to our shared goals. We hope the Board will reconsider and find a way to meet in our upcoming month to address these critical matters that lie ahead. In closing, we would like to extend a warm welcome to our new classified professionals, Cyrus Berlin, Department Lab Tech for Natural Sciences, Raymond Hazelwood, Network Engineer for ITS, and Teresa Velez, Intermediate Clerk for Health Sciences. Thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you. We'll now go to Management Association, Mr. Altamirano.
Yes, thank you. Good evening. Since this is the last meeting of 2024, I figured I'd give a lengthy year in review. I'm kidding, because we would be here all night with all the amazingness that our administrators do. But I will start by saying that the Management Association would like to give a big thank you to Yuri Perez, who after nearly 30 years is leaving PCC. Secondly, we'd like to thank Lilian Ribeiro for her service to the college over the last year in support of the PCC Foundation. We thank them both and wish them well in their future endeavors. And while we have a few managers leaving PCC, we have some joining us as well. Then would like to give a warm welcome to the newest members of our leadership team, in Gladys Mendez, Coordinator of Upward Bound, Amy Carnes, Director of Development and Operations Foundation, Eric Hawk, Assistant Director, Enterprise Application Services, Michael O'Neill Patterson, Director of Technology Customer Experience, and a very familiar campus face, Peter Benson, as our Transportation Coordinator. In closing, I'd like to personally thank our college administrators, especially those in the Management Association, for their steadfastness in serving our students. Our roles aren't always the most popular, with some of the tough decisions that need to be made, but I know that our association does the necessary work to best serve our students and our district. In this coming year, the goal for the MA is to not only continue fulfilling our daily responsibilities, but to push the district at all levels to live by our mission, which is highlighted in our Centennial Celebration video, recognizing that PCC has never been and never will be a bystander. We should never rest on our laurels and be content with the status quo. Our college's mission, while not unique, is one grounded in equity. And let us as a college not just speak these words, but put our actions behind them at every level. Thank you. Feliz Navidad y prospero año nuevo.
Thank you. We'll now go to Academic Senate. Ms. Ruiz.
Academic Senate has wrapped up our meetings for this semester. It has been a very productive term. Our first meeting of spring will be on February 24th, and we hope everyone has a great holiday season. We look forward to seeing you in February. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go to this side of the dais. We'll start with Student Trustee Wong.
Yes, since the last meeting, the campus has been especially energetic with the bowl game bringing in over 1,000 students and family members, and Cal State and UC transfer applications being due. So I'd like to thank the athletics department and the transfer centers for supporting students at the great capacity that they have. And I'd also like to thank all of the staff and faculty for all of their hard work this semester. I also look forward to joining a few of the trustees for the CCLC Lobby Day up at the Capitol during January to represent our students and their needs.
Thank you. Trustee Silver.
Okay. I want to echo Dr. Gomez's exhortation that we all enjoy the arts that we have here on our campus. I had the pleasure to go to two music-oriented events, the Chinese Music Ensemble, which was so beautiful and peaceful. It was, I didn't know what to expect, and it was absolutely lovely. And then I also attended our winter choral concert called A Season of Light that combined our concert choir, our chamber singers, and Jazzadina, and it was an absolutely outstanding concert. Highly recommend. Faculty, staff, only $5 for a ticket. Can't miss that, and it's a $10 ticket for the public. So, I attended many of us attended the Community College League of California conference, and in good professional development practice, I guess I'm going to reiterate some of the favorite things I learned, and there are four that I really want to bring to the college community. One is that the Chancellor's Office is starting implementation of a common cloud data platform for the entire system. And the idea is this will streamline all the reporting we do, will allow us to get near real-time data and to help support our students, and will help combat fraudulent applications. The second item is we are moving the entire system to a common course numbering, and 6 courses will supposedly be done now. Laura, is that true? 6? Okay, good, wonderful. 24 more by fall 2025, or 26, and 50 more by fall 2026, for a total of 80. And the Chancellor's Office is energetic because they chose the 80 most taken, highest demand courses to do first. And this is going to be fabulous, that the students system-wide will see the same course number, the same course title, and the same description, and know that if it's a transfer course, it is the same course that will transfer no matter which campus they attend. And especially for us here in the Los Angeles County, that applies to a lot of our students that mix and match colleges. So I think it'll really serve our students well, although we recognize it will be a lot of work for our faculty and staff. So that's exciting. Third item, one of the sessions was about artificial intelligence, and this was a particularly interesting speaker. She said that we are teaching the first generation in human history who will be judged first by algorithms and second by people, primarily in the job search, and it's just an interesting thought to have. She said that our students will be able to see the glitches in technology because our students often have different life experiences from the typical tech coder. And one example that our students could probably immediately pick up is we're not training AI to understand Spanish. That's crazy. So we must think of what our students bring to AI and computer science and make sure that they have those opportunities. And the last thing that's very important is that we must embed our college's values into contracts regarding AI, because without our values stated as part of the desired outcome, the AI process will return results that will reflect the biases of the coders and the biases of what AI has learned on the internet. So that is a critical component of these contracts. Another session, last point, is that Mount SAC claims they have 9,559 FTES in their non-credit division. I double-checked with Dr. Garcia, their president, and she said that is true. It's like, wow, that's a lot. They do their LVN program and their EMT programs in non-credit. So the benefits are it's free to the students and higher apportionment to the college. Regarding dual enrollment, in another session, nearly 14% of Los Angeles Community College District students are dual enrollment students, 14%. They have over 20,000 dual enrollment students. So let's carry on and grow. Then lastly, for us here locally, I attended our wonderful annual holiday party for the campus community, and it was filled with people making merry and bright, and a heartfelt thanks to all the people who worked so hard decorating. We have a few decorations left, but the halls were decked, cheerful centerpieces, tablecloths, delicious food, wonderful music, a jazz band, a fun photo area, prizes. So thank you to all that did that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. We'll go to Trustee Liu.
Yes, we have one public comment on my report.
Oh, good.
I wasn't going to mention
Probably after, Ryan. It'll be after. Just wait.
I wasn't going to mention the Forbes recognition, but because Dr. Gomez did, I wanted to say thank you for the kind words, and just say, frankly, I don't think I'm very deserving of it, but I appreciate that recognition. If anything, I think PCC should be highlighted on there, but I think we've been celebrating our centennial, so we're over 30, unfortunately. But no, I mean, frankly, I think any opportunity I'm able to get to highlight the work that happens on this campus, I'm grateful for, because I don't think anything that many students, including me, have been able to achieve would have been possible if not for PCC and all of y'all doing the hard work, the actual work to make this institution run. And I've gotten to know many of you since I was a student, and I think Jesse since I was 11 years old. So y'all have really been with me throughout my entire life. So thank you so much, PCC. On to
You want to comment on that, Jesse?
We don't need to know what I was like at 11. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the facility staff for organizing those hard hat tours for the board. It was wonderful to see the Serafian building and all the amazing work going there, and we're excited for it to open soon. I also want to give a shout out to the El Monte High School District. They invited a couple of us, and I was able to attend their annual Caballeros event, which is a leadership conference for many of their young male students to introduce them to mentors and professionals in the area and teach them work, study skills. So I want to shout out President Ricardo Padilla and Vice President Kui Win from their district. And lastly, thank you again to everyone who helped organize the board to go to the CCLC conference. Trustee Silver and I were there, so was Trustee Aragon and Trustee Wong, and it was just a great event. And lastly, just want to wish everyone a happy holidays and a happy new year. This will actually be the first time I forced myself to wake up to attend the Rose Parade because I want to celebrate our great Rose Court Float sponsorship. I'm sad I didn't sign up quick enough to help out. It was like logging on to go to Coachella to buy tickets, except some would call this Floatchella. And that concludes my report.
I've got some tickets I can scalp you.
I always need like a second after Trustee Liu's reports to like not start laughing. That didn't work. We'll go now to Trustee Gibson.
Yeah, I was so happy to see the African American High School conference here in this room. It was wonderful to see so many young black faces here on campus. Really appreciated the effort that went into that and bringing that here on campus this year. That was great to see. I want to acknowledge that I've been elected to be on the board of APALA LA. APALA is a Asian American and Pacific workers group throughout the country and their local group here. So I'll be representing them for the next year, helping with those efforts. So thank you very much, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, and congratulations, Dr. Gibson. APALA does incredible work. Trustee Chen Lau?
I certainly like to echo the sentiments of my fellow colleagues around the visit at the Seraphian building. Being the oldest member on this board, the building has been a project for a long time since I was elected in 2018, and to see the transformation from then to now has just been truly amazing. And kudos to the facilities team with Candace and your team in facilitating that visit, but also to the crew that worked on the project. I know that it takes a village, literally the science village, right, to get that building done. So I'm really excited to see that. I like to thank the staff of PCC, the managers of PCC, the professors at PCC for their work in this season of gratitude. It is important that to know that everybody's here to serve our students and to ensure that the outcomes of the students are a priority for this college, and we wouldn't be able to do that with everybody's work here. At the same time, I'd like to recognize the superintendent, Dr. Gomez, and his team, Jillian, Alex, Audrey, and Armin, for their work. Handling 7 trustees is not easy. So I know that you all don't get enough, perhaps, appreciation and acknowledgement for the work that you do. And I want to take this time to thank you, as well as my colleagues on the board. So it takes a lot of work, right, to run this college, and it starts with at the top, at the leadership level. So in this year, again, as we reflect on 2024, I want to thank Chair Alton Wang for his leadership, and also Ryan Liu and Steve Gibson as the officers of the board for your leadership, and my fellow colleagues on the board. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Chen Lau. Trustee Kwong?
Thank you. So I had a wonderful tour of the Seraphian building with Vice President Jones. Very impressive. As I had said before, and I actually said this to Vice President Jones, is that the environment of the students is very critical to learning. And when you feel good about your educational environment, when you have a desk that works, your lab equipment works, the facilities work, you're comfortable, it creates a conducive environment for learning. And when I toured the Seraphian building, I got that sense that it was designed for learning. Just the space, the use of space, the use of how the chemistry lab was set up, the biology lab, even where the storage spaces, the storage lockers, all the way down to the LK water filters, is all for the purpose of creating a conducive environment for learning, and I think that's very, very important. So thank you so much for that tour. It was very informative. So a couple of weeks ago, Vice President Jones and I, along with Jillian Beck, we went to the CCLC office because Pasadena City College received an award from the CCLC for a large district, the Innovation Award, spearheaded by our certification by the American Green Zone Alliance. So we went to Sacramento to receive that award, and I understand that facilities will be continuing in our endeavors in that regard, as there are several steps in doing that. So congratulations to everybody that worked on that. I wish everybody a wonderful holiday season at the end of the year. I always like to reflect on what we've accomplished in the year. And I just hope that we all reflect at the end of the year as we start off in 2025.
Thank you, Trustee Kwong. Trustee Aragon?
Thank you. So I was able to attend the Heroes Luncheon at the University Club, which was a great opportunity to meet with some outstanding leaders in the nonprofit sector. I mentioned I attended the tailgate football game, so that was a great time. They won. They started winning after I left, so I knew that was a good thing. I also attended the PCC holiday luncheon, so thank you for everyone who put that together. I hope that those staff appreciations, and I'm looking at our president, continue to happen maybe on a more regular basis. So, yes, because our staff needs to be honored and appreciated. So, yay. The CCLC conference I attended also, I got some good more training on the Brown Act. I also attended a workshop with Dr. Fernando Guerra from LMU. You'll see him on, if you ever watch Spectrum News, he does an analysis of the last election, and especially in regards to the changes with the LA County supervisors, so that was very interesting. I attended the Wall Las Memorias World AIDS Day on a Sunday, and I got to meet David Archuleta from American Idol, right?
Yes.
Very cool. He sang a few numbers, and we took a selfie together. I didn't like how I came out, so I didn't post it. But
I'm waiting on the post.
Yes. Then I just had dinner and met with our city manager of Pasadena, Miguel Marquez. And so we had a conversation in regards to collaboration, especially in working to help and support, our most vulnerable students on this campus. So I look forward to continue to work with him. I wanted to mention Lisa Rocha, who's a former student and now a friend and colleague. She gifted me this, it'll come out, this necklace here in this cup, which comes from her store, the Monarca Sol Collective, which is right by El Portal. So if you want to do some Christmas shopping and support our students, our former students and local vendors, go check out that. It'll be on my Instagram feed, so check it out. That's at Trustee Aragon, if you want to follow me on Instagram. That's my trustee Instagram. Okay. Then I want to also mention that I got some sad news over Halloween that our former IT person in counseling, Nancy Martinez, passed away. I had a wonderful time working with her, and she was a wonderful support to me and many of us in the counseling department. She had retired, but I just learned of her passing over Halloween, so I'd also like to adjourn in her memory. And then I will say to my constituents, to the community, to all here, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Feliz Navidad, Prospero Año Nuevo, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Aragon. You said Nancy Martinez?
Nancy Martinez.
We will adjourn in memory with her. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us through the evening for this final board meeting of 2024. I just want to begin by expressing my own gratitude for all of the folks, not just in this room, certainly, many of you who certainly show up to every board meeting for your work here at the college, but the work of all of our staff, our managers, our faculty. Thank you to everyone for this incredible year, quite frankly, especially coinciding with the start of our centennial, but also for such a vibrant semester. This semester felt like it flew by incredibly quickly. I feel like I was just saying, yay, new semester, welcome, and now we're already bidding the fall adieu. But thank you for your contributions and everything you do to support our students every day. And to our students who I know right now, two who are here instead of probably studying for finals and doing all that work, thank you and good luck on finals as we as we're closing up and as you guys are closing up as well. I also want to take a second just to recognize we have 2 new legislators that are representing our college and our community that were just sworn in Sacramento a week and a half ago. I want to extend warm congratulations to our new Senator, Sasha Renee Perez, as well as a new Assembly member, John Harabedian, both who have already been friends to our district, to our college, but I know 2 people who are already expressing their commitment and interest in engaging our community and to continue to support the work of our district. And I think it's really particularly special to see someone who has been and hired a champion in Senator Perez in Sacramento and now leading in the Senate on all of these important issues. And I think that would be a fruitful partnership for both of our legislators in the years ahead. So congratulations to the 2 of them. Really exciting to see them now sworn in and serving our community. And finally, I just wanted to thank again everybody who stayed with us this evening. I think this is a perfect example of that democracy is difficult. It can be messy, but the voices that we provide, not just the people that come into this room, but certainly our students, our community here on campus is vital, and that our participation in this work is vital. And so even if it is difficult, even if it is challenging, we have to continue to make sure that this space is open to those who need a voice and represent those who may not be able to come every single day. So thank you all for engaging with us with that. And I want to give a shout out to our officer that's been in the back. Thank you for watching over us this evening. So much appreciated. And with that, happy holidays. And that concludes my report. Okay, we're now going to go to proposed future board business meeting dates. I just want to quickly recognize the concern that was brought up by Ms. Godinez in the classified Senate. Very appreciative of bringing that comment forward. I think the decision to cancel the January board meeting was made in consultation with staff in partial recognition that the original scheduled date was administratively difficult. But one thing that I did say when we did make the cancellation, and I want to reiterate this to my colleagues so no one's surprised, is that if there is pressing business that we need to address, we will agendize a board meeting to make sure we're not missing any critical business of the college. That's something really important, and we will do that if necessary. We'll seek the advice of staff and Dr. Gomez moving forward. But thank you for bringing your suggestion forward. Anything else on this item? Okay. Item 3, proposed future agenda items. Seeing none, we'll go to adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.